Hi guys, my name is Niels, founder of housinganywhere.com. Housing Anywhere is a marketplace for accommodation for international students. So it's kind of, you can compare it like an Airbnb, but then focus on the niche market of international students that move abroad for 1 semester, 1 year, or even longer. I started that 10 years ago. I exited the company 2 years ago, so I'm not active anymore in the company. But I still like to tell a bit about the company, how I started it, and hopefully to inspire all of you to also get active. Or I already saw some cool profiles here that you already have your own companies, so I'm very happy to see that. Also very happy to see that everyone is from all over the world. So it's good that everywhere around the world people are working from the computers and building your own companies. So Housing Anywhere, our slogan is "It all starts with a room." Because we are a marketplace where students find a new room to start a new episode in their life, a new episode in a new country. But also the company itself, Housing Anywhere, started in a room. It was me in my student room where I started the platform by myself alone. In my student room where I started in that house, there was one of my housemates was moving out. So what I did is I rented one of the rooms of one of my housemates additionally, and I took out the bed and I put in these desks. And these were the first full-time people working in the company. Another housemate, he was not moving out, but I made a deal with him that when he was out of the house to go to university, we could use his room as well to work. So you see here still his bed in the corner, and people using also his room to work. So it started to grow and grow. People even worked in the living room. My bedroom became the meeting room. So it became all a bit too crowded. And this is right now the office. So we have now a team of 100 people. Or when I left, we were 100 people 2 years ago. And we've been expanding. For you, of course, the question is, how to expand, how to enter new markets. I have a few advices. So the first one, for those that already have a company, you already made this step. For those that are thinking to launch their own company, one of the biggest first steps to make is just dare to do it, dare to act, dare to make that step. You have this idea of a new company, but you're always thinking, should I do it? Should I not do it? And the only way to find it out is just do it. Do not be afraid that you don't have knowledge about how to manage people, or that you don't have knowledge how to manage a team or how to program a website, because those things you can learn on the way. You'll make many mistakes, but that's okay. It's part of the game. Your investors will accept that, because as long as you're honest to everyone, to your team and to your investors and to everyone, if you say, guys, I don't have experience, but I try my very best, people will accept it. People accept if you're a bit vulnerable and if you say, we are in this stuff together, and if we all try our best, we will end up somewhere good. Do not stress about funds, about investors. So I started with zero money for myself, and I managed to pitch to the university that they said like, hey, I want to make a housing platform for international students. And I think it's good for the university, but I need some money to pay someone to make a website. And I asked some people, and one was a guy in Poland, and this guy in Poland, he was willing to make my first website for 800 euros. So that's why I asked 800 euros to the university. With that money, I could pay the guy in Poland and could launch a first website, which was a website that was absolutely not perfect, but at least it was a website that was kind of working. So we could make the first steps online. And what you will see is, as soon as you make your first steps online, if you have a product that people like, you'll get users. Then you can talk with the users to ask them what do they like, what they're looking for, what are they missing at the website. And with that information, you can make a wish list from your what you want to do in the future on your website. You can prioritize it, like what are the things that is urgently needed next month, and what can wait 1 year, and what is nice to have in 5 years. And then you step to the investors. to the investors, you can you can present like, guys, I just launched with a limited budget. I launched a website. I already got a few users. I got great feedback. I want to launch that. I want to improve it. But for that, I need a serious team. And for that, I need, for example, 100,000 euros or $200,000. So yeah, just with the limited money you have in the beginning, maybe you can borrow something from your friends, or maybe you have some savings from your own accounts. Launch a very basic website and gather statistics, gather metrics, gather a wish list, like what do you want to do in the future. Gather the wish list mostly from your users. And with those stories, you go to investors. And those investors that you approach the first time will not be the guys in Silicon Valley, Sequoia Capital, and all those prestigious funds, but it will be, I would suggest rich friends, families, and fools, how you call them. So people who have some money that like to take an adventure. I am a business student. I have no clue about IT. What I see here on the screen, this is coding, but I don't know really what it means. And yeah, if you don't have the knowledge to program a website, do not think that you cannot start a IT startup or a tech startup. You can still do it like I did it by asking friends to help you out, or in my case, I got through asking friends of friends of friends. I got to a guy in Poland who was willing to make it for me. Nowadays, you have this great website called Upwork.com. On Upwork, you can post requests like, I want to make a website, who can help me, and people can bid on that. And then for a couple of $100 or maybe a few $1,000, you can have already a website, a basic website. Yeah, there's also no best way how to found a company. That's also what I want to highlight. So what I'm now telling you is my story. But there are, if you look at how entrepreneurs started their company and what is their road, there is not really one similar path. Mark Zuckerberg dropped out of Harvard, so he did not finish his university, and got a very successful company. There are also stories of people who finished the university and then start a company. There are also stories of people who first worked 30 years in a multinational or in a family business and then start their own company. So there are many ways how to start a company. So do not think that my story is the only successful one. In the end, it's also finding a bit what fits best to your style, to your personality. What is very important is to keep talking with your customers. When I started, I wanted to make a platform based on my own experience from moving to Singapore and looking for a room in Singapore and willing to rent out my own room in Rotterdam. So I had some own experience. So I knew a bit how my website should look like, but more important is not what I think, but what my users want. So as soon as you get your first users, directly start talking with them. Maybe the pop-up chat, or if possible, get their phone number and just give them a call and say, hey, I'm the founder of this website that you just visited. I want to talk to you. What are you looking for on my website? What are you missing on my website? What would be great to have on my website in the future? Just to get some knowledge of what people really want and looking for. And based with that, you build further your website. So in the beginning, do not spend 5 years developing in your garage a super fancy, cool, great website, because maybe your users were not looking for all the tools and features that you developed. I would suggest first launch something very basic and then start talking with your customers to find out what are the tools and features that they would love to have. So not what you think that they would like, but really ask them what they really like. And that's such a process called MVP, minimal viable product. First, you launch something very minimal, and from then onwards, you go further. Okay, and this is an important slide, because this is basically where I understood today's topic is about. So today's topic is that I understood you wanted to learn how to enter market like a pro. And then I think you want to know how to enter international markets, so different markets than your first market. And Housing Anywhere, so my platform for student housing, is a marketplace. So you always have to have demand for student rooms and supply for student rooms. Because as a marketplace, you don't own any rooms. You're just a platform, and people who own rooms post rooms, and people who are looking for rooms look for rooms. And for marketplace, it should keep in balance is the equilibrium. You should not have too many supply, or you should not have too many demand. On the picture on the left, you see here's a lot of supply in this market, but there are no customers. On the right side, you see a lot of customers, but it looks like there's not enough of supply, what they can buy, because this is all people waiting to buy something. You should always have enough supply for your demand. Whether you own the supply or not, you should have a good balance. Because if you don't have a good balance, one of the sides gets unsatisfied. When you launch your first product or service, you should find out what works, what do your customers want, what do they don't want, what works in growing your company, what works in promoting your company, what does not work in promoting your company on your first market. And your market you could define as a city or a region or a country. So in the case of Housing Anywhere, we launched first in Rotterdam. And so in Rotterdam, that was our first market, that city. And yeah, we were trying to find out what works in promoting this platform in Rotterdam. Should we hand out flyers to get people to our website? Should we put up posters at the university to attract traffic to the website? Should we do advertising on Google AdWords? Should we host events, launch some drinks, just to see, do you get customers out of that? And if yes, write it down in your playbook. These things worked. If they did not work, also write it down in your playbook. These things do not work to promote my business. So in the end, with your first market, you can learn a lot about what your customers want, and based on that, you can improve your product. And with your marketing, you can learn what does work, what is working to grow your company, and what is useless activities to grow your company. Basically, the playbook is the answer on how did you get successful in your first market. And after being successful in your first market, you can select, okay, what is going to be my second market? It could be a new city, for example, Amsterdam. It could be a new country, for example, Germany. First, narrow it down, make a niche market where you focus on. Find out what works, what does not work in that niche market. And then second is write it down in the playbook, what worked and what did not work. And then next step is going to expand. And this expansion, you should not do too quickly. If you have a great playbook on how to launch in a city, it's not guaranteed that that playbook will work in your second market. So also in your second market, do it slowly, launch slowly. And based on the experience in your second market, you evaluate your playbook, you update your playbook, then you have a new improved playbook. With that playbook, you can launch in a third market and maybe directly in a fourth market. So then you take two markets at the same time. Then you learn again from that, update your playbook, and then you can try to launch in 3 markets or 4 markets at the same time. So then you gradually start to expand exponentially. So what is eventually really important is to keep focused. Focus, 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 focus. If you enter a new market, it also means there's a lot of new opportunities. In my case, when you enter the housing market of Italy, you also maybe realize like, hey, but actually also the whole application at university can be smoothed. So we could make software for that. Or hey, you could also offer airport pickups from the airport to the student houses. Or hey, we can also offer metro cards. Or there's many new things that when you open a new market, you also see a lot of new opportunities. And what is super important is that you keep your business focused on the core. The core is how you're going to scale it up. And later you can offer additional services. But the way to get big is first to be very, very, very strong in your core business. And that you can only keep by just focusing on what you're really doing. A great example is Airbnb. Airbnb, offering rooms in their houses or offering the complete apartment online. They could have easily decided, let's also allow hotels to post their rooms on our platform. Because for sure there would have been many hotels that would be interested in advertising their hotel rooms on Airbnb. But Airbnb did not do that. They kept focus on what is their core, which is shared accommodation by the people. And only now, 14, no, even 16 years after they launched, now they only started to launch different things on their platform. So now they start to offer some hotel rooms. Now they start to offer some experiences offered by local guests. But the first, basically 16 years, they've only been focusing on this one thing that they want to be the biggest in.